Hi, everybody. It's the CC and JT Amateur Hour, or as we call it, Podcast After Dark.
Hello.
I'm obviously JT.
And I'm Cece.
Oh, baby.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Today's voices are brought to you by COVID. And since that's a trigger item, we're going to spend less than a minute on it, but we're going to talk about it real quick. If you caught us on social media, CC definitely has COVID. And I probably have COVID, but we didn't get a good test, so we don't know for sure. Cece was exposed to COVID 2 weeks ago now.
Almost about a week and a half, yes.
Yeah, and then she brought it home, and now we're feeling better.
Well, I think what's going on at the moment is that I am in the recuperative phase. And I think you may be on the downslope because I exposed you to it later than I was exposed to it. So, as in the case with most couples, if you're anything like us, and if you are a family with kids, you'll know there will probably be one member of the family that doesn't get sick until everybody else has had it. And once that happens, oh boy.
Oh boy. So we are fully immunized, and despite what somebody on social media says, we know that the immunizations are working. We feel that the immunizations are working, so we are advocates for it. And we know that that is a trigger point, and that's not the point of this podcast. On the flip side, nobody should feel as crappy as we've been feeling for this last week.
It's
my God.
So 4 years in, this is the first time I've had it. So obviously I didn't understand that you hear about what it feels like, but you can't really understand until you've experienced it for yourself. And everybody does experience it differently. So it isn't fun. It isn't just a cold. It's even harder than the flu. So even though I think what I've had is a very mild case, it's still not fun.
Yeah, when I had it after I went across country and I was exposed, I always blame Wyoming because Wyoming. But when it hit me, it hit me with a ton of bricks, and it just put me straight to bed, and I was there. So, and as you can hear, it's even if this light case is affecting my voice.
Yes, there is a lot of congestion.
So I said we're going to spend less than a minute. We actually spent 2 minutes, but folks, get your shots. Just get your shots for if somebody somewhere loves you and you do not want to be sick and you want to be there for that someone. So for that person or that person's, get your shots. Okay. Before we jump off that soapbox, did you want to add anything more?
No, I just think that maybe now we should segue into today is September 22nd, 2024. Which is the first day of autumn.
Yep, first day of fall, first day of autumn.
Okay, I saw a video that someone posted on a social media platform about, most of the world talks about the autumnal equinox or autumn, whereas the United States is like, oh, it's fall because the leaves are falling down. What is your preferred term? Is it fall or is it autumn?
Yeah, and it's, I prefer fall because that's just, my thing.
How you grew up.
Yeah, this is fall. And either way, it's no big deal.
I go back and forth because I like to say autumnal equinox. It sounds like fun. But we do grow up in a society where most people do refer to it as fall.
Yeah. And it's kind of fun too because being here at the foothills of the Sierras, the Sierra Highlands technically, we can see to the west. We can look up in the hills, and of course, we've got cottonwoods all over the place, but we could look to the hills to the west and we can see the patches of trees just changing. It's yellow. Really cool.
Yeah, it looks like so this is obviously silver country. There was a lot of gold in California. They did find some gold in Nevada, but there's a lot of silver here. But when autumn fall hits here and the leaves close to us start to fall, we can look up into the mountains and you see just kind of, like you said, patches, but it almost looks like veins of gold in the hills.
Yeah,
the leaves will turn. I think they may be birches.
Yeah, that's very poetic, pretty. But that's good. That's very good. Veins of metal in the trees from the distance. That's very cool, very poetic. So
well, I am a writer.
Yeah, really?
Sometimes.
So let us segue into the writing thing. The three main topics that we have today for writing have to deal with my books. So but before we dive into there, do you want to talk about your efforts?
Well, I did manage to do a little bit of editing while I was away from home before I got really sick. But obviously, I have been down for the count for the past few days, so my editing is a bit on hiatus right now, and my writing project is also on a little bit of a hiatus. I feel like I'm coming back and I'll get back to it. Also, I did have some social media batch filming planned for today, which probably will not happen till next week. But we are coming up on October also. So I'm getting ready to do Spooktober with Edgar Allan Poe again. And that will be my
Ooh,
batch filming project, is doing Spooktober with Edgar Allan Poe.
ooh, that's
So
fun.
hopefully fans of Poe like myself will enjoy that. And so that's kind of what I have going on right now.
That's going to be kind of fun. I enjoyed the Edgar Allan Poe. Was that last year?
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that last year, but now that you're retired, you have more free time and more
Yep.
flexible. You'll especially more time.
Yep.
You can give add that extra level of
That's
creativity.
my plan.
Okay, so we're going to dive into the three topics that usually we're not prepared, but Cece had to write stuff down for me because my brain is mush. So she
Mm-hmm.
had to write things down to talk about. So if you see me looking down at my computer, I'm just going, oh, that's what we're going to talk about now. Some accomplishments that happened in the last couple of weeks while we were gone is first of all, thanks to Teri from Fallon. She was able to get one of my books into the Churchill County Library. Woo! That was
Yay!
so cool to see it out in the wild like that. And if you are in the Fallon area, which by the way, for it's in central Nevada, if you draw a line from like Carson City to Salt Lake City, it's on that line, and it's probably maybe a two maybe well it's in the
Well,
middle. It's close to the middle of Nevada.
and for a little added detail, I guess, it is home to Fallon Naval Air Station. So it is a location where they did some of the filming for
Yeah,
Top Gun,
yeah,
the movie
it's home
Top
of Top
Gun.
Gun. Yeah,
So if the area looks at all familiar to anyone who is not native to this area, that's probably why.
yeah. So thank you to Terry for going to the library on my behalf, and going to the library and requesting that they buy the book. They did,
Yep.
and yay, awesome. And so I feel, I'm just, it's just so many emotions when you see a book out in the wild like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't even begin to describe it. Writers who've done it, they understand.
Well, and you also pointed out in the photo that we saw that Terry very kindly posted was on the shelf here next to Victor Hugo.
Yeah, which is cool.
Because we visited, wasn't it Victor Hugo's
Yeah,
place in Paris
yeah, I think
when we were
so.
there
Yeah.
last year?
I honestly don't remember. We
I
saw so
think
much.
I think it was Victor Hugo. We were
Yeah,
in that square,
yeah, in the
and there
square. Yeah,
was the house. I believe it was Victor Hugo. I'll probably have
mm,
to
yeah,
refresh my memory, but to like you said, to see it on the shelf like that among classic literature
is
that is available to everyone freely everywhere, and
yeah,
this is also sign up for a library card month. So if you don't have a library card, go get one.
yeah. It's cool. Yeah, support your local libraries. They're
Yes.
awesome. The second thing that's happened is that Zoe, which is going to be put on pre-sale on Nevada Day, is my next Nevada-centric book. I like writing about Nevada. I really enjoy like
Mm-hmm.
Nevada because well, it's my home, and it's just cool to write about Nevada because it's a very eclectic, very general place. And so it's going through the editing process right now, and I have to again feel blessed. I'm feeling very blessed this week, but from the four beta readers that I had that put it through the grinder and made so many excellent suggestions. It is a much better book than it was when I submitted it to the four beta readers. So to all of you, my heartfelt thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you. CC's obviously one of them, but still, it still counts. But so my thanks to the four beta readers for just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job that y'all did. So it is at the formal editors now. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be going through editing up until in November. But I'm going to put it on pre-sale October 31st because it is a Nevada book and because October 31st is Nevada Day.
We've talked
Not
about
like those
that.
stinking legislators who said it's the last Friday of October, so we get the 3-day weekend. October 31st is Nevada Day.
We've talked about that in previous podcasts, but that is the truth. They did change it to the final Friday of October for financial reasons,
Right.
basically, because most people around the state travel to Carson City. We have a big parade here. It's awesome.
Humongous.
They do balloon ascensions. It's a great day. If you're on the West Coast, definitely come to Carson City. Spend your money and then go home.
Yeah, bring all your money, leave it here. But it's
great.
The parade has dozens upon dozens of entries,
Yeah.
and it's just fantastic. And so what happens is Friday is the travel day, Saturday is the parade, and Sunday is the travel day away. So, it economically, like you said, financially,
Yes.
it makes a lot of sense to do it that way. But for us old folks, there's my back again. We October 31st is Nevada Day. No matter.
Well, and the change also upset some kids from Carson City because in Carson City, when Nevada Day was celebrated on October 31st, the kids weren't trick-or-treating that day. So they could trick-or-treat in Carson City on October 30th and then go to Reno and surrounding areas to trick-or-treat on actual Halloween. So they lost a day of trick-or-treating in that, and some of the kids in the area at that time were not happy.
Yeah, but the kids don't get to vote, so
No, but
okay.
that's one of those well, I guess not a consequence, but that's one of those things that you don't think about because, like you said, that demographic doesn't vote.
Yeah.
But the kids were up in arms.
Yeah, they're pretty upset. But anyway, back to the reason of this podcast is this. So Zoey, my next book is going on pre-sale October 31st, the real Nevada Day. And it's going through the editing process right now, and it's also going through the cover process, which is time to segue to talk about that. And that's the last thing that we have on the agenda is, we're doing pretty good on time for a change. Awesome. So
probably because we don't have a lot of brains.
Oh God, we're not doing well, are we? Whew, boy.
Well, I am doing better today. I got some sleep. That helps.
Yeah, you look better because last few days, you look like something the cat dragged in.
That's basically how I felt too.
Yeah. So cover. The saying is true. You judge a book by its cover. That's just the way it is. We could all say that we read books for the words, but we don't pick up the book until we look at the cover. That's just, if the cover isn't enticing, then you're wasting your time. And I wonder if that's what happened with Serving Salvation, is that it was just such a complicated, colorful cover that looked like artificial intelligence created it, that I'm just wondering if that's why some people just didn't pick it up. It got a 5-star review and it's got some sales, but really it sort of died on the vine. But that's also the truth of independent self-publishing.
Well, it hasn't been out for a month yet.
No.
And we do put too much pressure on ourselves, I think, to make a big kind of splash on release week. And really, the book is out there.
Yeah.
Someone at some point may pick it up, recommend it to another person who recommends it to another person. Once that happens, it could take off.
It could take off.
Honestly, it's true. Maybe some people are assuming that it was created using AI. I personally really like the cover. I think it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And you went through quite the struggle with that book and that particular cover because you had a very specific idea in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think the fact that you found something that you were kind of happy with is good.
But I think also that it's kind of a seed that's been planted because, as we've said repeatedly on this, it's the first book of 3. And there are 3 prequels, novellas, novelettes, whichever word you prefer. So it's an entire universe, and I think, excuse me, it may not gain traction in 2024, but as those extra books start coming out, it may start to pick up traction because people love sequels. They love series, so they love to be involved in series. So that's incentive, because I never actually planned to write series. I never planned to write sequels. But I've been turned around, and now so I'm doing it full time now. Yay!
Well, and also, sometimes there's just too much story to put in one book, and that's what happened with Serving Salvation.
Oh yeah, that certainly is what happened to Serving Salvation. So anyway, we're working our way back to Zoey here, believe it or not, Zoey. And right now, Zoey is going through a cover contest on 99 Designs. And it's actually quite successful. It's actually been quite successful, and it closes today. With there's been over 30. It's probably by now there's 30 designers that have submitted over 100, over 110, 120 book cover designs.
Mm-hmm.
And so the design contest occurs in stages. It occurs in time stages. This number of days is everybody and their mother, literally it seems, can submit a book cover. Then the next stage is where I pick a subset of that, 5 or 6 designers to go to the next round. Then I work with those 5 or 6. And then at the end of those 5 or 6, then I pick the winner. So it's and the contest is going quite well. And so today's the day. I'm sorry.
So once you pick the winner, is that your final design, or can you still do some tweaks?
We can still do tweaks. Can still do tweaks until they turn the materials over to it. And for this design, excuse me, for this design, it's going to cost about $400. I'll just $400 because I'm invested in the book cover. Because again, you judge books by its cover. That's just the reality. And I know that there are some people that don't agree. There are some people that do their own designs. There are some people that spend less money on designs, and they end up with fantastic designs still. But this is the way I like to do it. This is the way I've grown accustomed to it. I've lost count how many 99 design contests I've done, but this is the way I like to do it. But I've also learned something. You learn something every time. Mm-hmm. You've learned something every time. And for this 99 design contest, what I did differently, and a minute ago I talked about AI covers, and I'm going to talk about it again, is I did a draft cover on an AI site of what I generally thought I would like. And I posted that into the contest, and boy, things just took off. It just took off from there. And it's like, well, this is a good idea because it helps me kind of formulate what I want as a way of a cover, but it also helps the designer and gives them not only the box to work within, but the box to go outside of. And I'm thinking right now that my 4 or 5, 6 designers that are going to pick, at least half of them are going to be the ones that thought outside the box. And that's really valuable because I like that. I like that kind of ingenuity. I'm mentally right now, I'm thinking of a particular cover that looks nothing like the one that I generated. And it's really fantastic. So I hope to share it with you. So today is the last day of the open period where everybody can do the design. Today or tomorrow, I'll make decisions as to the semifinalists. I'll work with the semifinalists, and then probably in a few days, certainly in a few days, I'll make the decision on the winner.
And I have to agree, you do have some good designs. I don't think I remember you using AI as a means of getting your sample cover, but it is a good way to use it to maybe give yourself some ideas, because in my case, I would sketch something out by hand, and that may not even be close to what I was looking for, but everybody has their own way of approaching things.
Well, and that's actually a good point too. You could do a sketch, scan it, and then put it up onto whatever designer site you want it, and that'll help the designers again. Sketches is fine. Anything that you can do, because as I said, we've done these before, and some of them have really sucked. And it's like you go through the open period, and you go, man, I'm not getting any designs, right. And it'll be almost to the end. You'll be going, oh my God, thank God, there's a good design. This time
kind of serving salvation, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of that.
Live with it.
But for this one, it's just been a success from top to bottom, and I'm actually probably going to feel bad about some designs I'm going to leave behind that I think are really, really good. But that's just the nature of the business. I do have the option of buying more than one design, and I did do that once, coincidentally, with Sheriff in Nevada. I never ended up using the second one. It just sat in the folders and got dusty, never did it. So if I may do that again sometime, I may even do it this time, but I'm going to be cautious about that because there's no point.
Well, is it possible you're toying with the idea of writing a third Maggie book or a third Sheriff book?
Yeah.
Could that be dusted off for that book, maybe?
Possibly.
No,
maybe. I'll have to think about that.
It doesn't hurt to have it, at least.
Yeah.
Maybe you could use it for a similar contest and say, this is kind of what I was looking for.
Yeah. But covers, man, especially, I'm feeling good about covers because even though Serving Salvation, wasn't exactly what my dream was. It did turn out pretty good. It is very bright and it's very colorful. It is eye-catching.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have hard copies of it. I can see it over there.
Yep.
And it's from here, it
pops.
It pops from across the room. That's for sure.
And it definitely looks science fiction. So you have that. The person should be expecting what they're picking up when they look at the cover, because your cover should indicate your genre.
Right.
And a lot of, for example, I write romances. A lot of the modern romance covers have gone more kind of cartoony sketches that are really cutesy.
Right.
So if I do a cover that's against that type, people won't know what to expect from the book. So I think Serving Salvation definitely is an indicator of the genre of the book.
Yep. So, and it was, in Serving Salvation, the entire universe, even the prequels, has been very fun to write, and I need to get back to that. And the cover for Zoey will not be a disappointment. Oh, by the way, yeah, I just remembered, I put that draft up on our website. So if you go out to our website, it's right there at the top, so you can see that. So the final cover may or may not look like that. I still haven't decided, but that's what the rest of this contest is for. And I had another book-related thing, and I completely forgot it, but it doesn't matter. La.
Well, were you going to talk about these books here that are still waiting to go to the bookstore?
Yeah, we're trying to get because of some bad timing, because of sickness. The CR Arts Foundation has a little bookstore called
the Depot Gallery.
The Depot Gallery, which is downtown.
It's in Sparks.
Yeah. Oh, in Sparks?
Yes, it's in Sparks.
Okay. I thought for some reason it was in the
No. That's
Riverside.
the Riverside Gallery. The Depot Gallery and Bookstore is in Sparks, which is kind of the more railroad area of Reno.
Okay. So
Reno Sparks is like a
anyway because CC was out of town, and then the COVID thing. We've been meaning to drop off books, but we can't leave the house, and we've been getting all sorts of deliveries. So hopefully we'll try again, maybe this Thursday. If not this Thursday, then we can't do it Thursday.
No.
We have things going on.
We are booked up.
Yeah, so never mind. So the next meeting of the Sierra Ouch Foundation, October 4th.
Whatever the first Sunday, and that will depend on whether or not this is all cleared up too. Because we'll have to have negative tests before we can really go out and about. So
COVID sucks.
Those books will be available
eventually.
Soon. Were you going to mention the person that contacted you about us actually selling books at the Nevada Day Parade?
Yeah, people have been, not only at the Nevada Day Parade, but people have been contacting us about going to doing events. Signings and events and signings, and we've got the banner, but we haven't had the gumption to get that far yet, because we've got things going on. And then, of course, I'm not going to say the big C word again. So,
but the other thing that this is bringing up is our business model, and whether or not we're going to be changing that a little bit too, because we started this as a very kind of loosey-goosey retirement project, and now it looks like we're going to have to go more formal to get things like events scheduled out in the public, because it takes a little bit more extra work on the administrative side to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, we've got some discussing to do and things like that. So,
our business is evolving.
And we'll drag you along as we do this. We have a lot of things to consider.
Yep.
Is there anything else we want to talk about? I don't have a problem ending this podcast early, especially since, excuse me, sorry about that. Since we're, not really on our A games here.
No, I think we've discussed everything we meant to discuss. We just, we're excited about everything that's happening. We wish we were both well enough to actually do some of the things that we have committed to doing. But we are getting there. Yeah. We will get there. And, thank you to everybody who's been reaching out to us. It's been awesome. And please continue. Oh, the one thing that I probably should mention is we're also coming up on October. We have a full week of September left, but I'm still nominated in the Women in Podcasting Awards. That voting period is open until October 1st, so there's still time to vote. Thank you to everybody who has already voted. And not just for me, go ahead and check out that Women in Podcasting site. There are some excellent podcasts up there in a variety of different categories, so there are probably a lot of things that may be of interest to you. Podcasts are a great way to spend time, especially if you're not feeling well. or a lot of people listen to them while they're doing housework or while they're driving back and forth to a job. So definitely check out the Women in Podcasting Awards, and if you're so inclined, please vote for the CC and JT Amateur Hour. We are in the authors and books category, and that's open until October 1st.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. I think we're going to go ahead and wind this up, and so we can go ahead and go back to drinking coffee and eating ice cream.
I will say, just as an aside, I've heard about the taste issues that people sometimes have when they get sick. Mine was an extreme reaction to salt. I had some chicken noodle soup yesterday, which should be, feeling really good. It tasted like somebody had poured a salt shaker in there. So that is something to keep in mind. They tell you that some people just completely lose their sense of taste and smell. I had a hypersensitivity to salt. So, if something odd is going on, just pay attention.
Yeah, pay attention. Okay, that's good.
Enough.
We're done.
That's enough.
So anyways, sitting over there is CC.
And over there is JT.
We hope that you have a wonderful week, and we ask that you check out our books and check out CC on the podcasting site. Link will be in the podcast post. And take care of yourselves and get your shots. Love you lots, everybody.
Bye-bye.